Did we do this? Gotta have an audience, boy. Greetings and salutations, everyone. You are tuned in once again to On Art with Walt, and today we have an amazing guest, David Kline, who you're going to learn all about his escapades in the candy world, and he is the founder of Jelly Bellies. So stay tuned, and we're going to go on a great ride. This show is sponsored by Retirement Fortress, and all the shenanigans going on in the market right now. If you want to learn about how to protect, preserve, grow your retirement, actually, without any hassle, risk, or loss, contact them at retirementfortress.net, or you can reach them at 888-999-9258. Hey, folks, welcome, David. It's a pleasure. We're having a lot of fun conversations, so it's great to see you again.
My pleasure. Jelly Belly actually prefers me saying I'm the inventor of the product.
Well, okay. Well, I know you're the inventor, but you're also the founder of the inventor. Okay, cool. And you've been in the candy world practically your life, I understand.
Ever since the age of 6, when I worked in my grandparents' liquor store, and I went with my aunt to Smart and Final to pick out all the candy that we would carry there.
Oh, so your first entree was snagging candy and selling candy at the liquor store. Okay,
correct. I made a study of all the bars and who the companies that owned them were and where they were located, and I knew at that age that someday I would be in the candy business.
And I'm sure you studied the ingredients and all that jazz on all the wrappers, right?
Every word. I learned how to read with candy bars.
Yeah. Wow. And they're different there than they are now, I'm sure.
Yeah, because they were a nickel each.
Oh my. As a friend of mine would say, a bargain at twice the price.
Yeah. I like that.
So what did you, what were a couple of things you gleaned from those early days of checking out candy?
Well, first of all, I learned how to make change, and I took care of customers, and we were using an old national cash register, a gold national cash register. And I learned at that age that it's very important to do things that are not expected, to do more than what you're expected to do.
Okay, so over deliver, basically.
Over and above. I used to help people out with their purchase without even asking. I just picked up the stuff and I said, "Where do you want it?"
And did you ask them if they wanted like a Three Musketeers or Snickers along the way?
Yeah. Do you know when Three Musketeers first came out? It was different flavors. It was vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry on the inside.
Did not know that.
Not many people do.
Wow, no. I've never been a big fan of it. It's just whipped chocolate. It just didn't do thinking for me.
Yeah. It's fluffy, not stuffy.
Yes, that's true. Absolutely right. At least Snickers, you got a little protein with those peanuts.
Oh yeah. Snickers was named after the Mars family racehorse.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know. Wow,
yeah.
Makes sense. Seemed to work. Did the racehorse ever win?
I'm sure that I'm sure it had some success along the way.
So you moved up in the world from working in a liquor store to at age 18, you had Dave's Popcorn?
Big Dave's Popcorn.
Big Dave's Popcorn, yeah.
Big Dave's Popcorn. We were doing great until there was a typhoon in the Philippines, wiped out the coconut crop, and we were popping it in coconut oil because you get the best pop with 76-degree coconut oil. It solidifies at 76 degrees.
Wow,
and it tastes much better. And we were forced out of business. One typhoon in the Philippines.
Boom, done. Wow, that's
Bye
scary.
bye. Bye bye, Big Dave's.
Wow. So and then in 1976, with all of $800 and no credit cards, you
Oh wait,
started.
need to tell you about something prior to that.
Oh, pardon me.
Oh no, pardon me. At the age of 20, I went into the electrostatic copy paper business
Oh, yes, I
with
remember you told the story on the phone.
with my uncle's best friend, and I built it up from zero. I did all the cold calling. People don't cold call anymore.
I sure understand the concept more than you could know.
I can bet. I can bet. And after I built up the business for about 6 months, uh, I came in on a Friday, and Hal Gear, who was my partner, handed me a check. And I said, "This isn't my payday. It's next week." He said, "Well, this is all that the business owes you. We're closing it down." I said, "That's really?" I said, "We're doing great." He said, "No, it's not worth my time." So he just did it to get rid of me. And so I started to compete with the company.
Sure, you were the one that
And
did all the
then,
calls to clients.
yeah, exactly. And so I called Doug Dames, who was our supplier, and I said, "Doug, can I still buy that paper for the AB Dick and the Sabin copy machines at 550 a roll?" They were on the rolls.
Oh,
And he said,
wow.
"Sure, your money's as good as your partner." I
Anybody
said, "Well,
else's?
he's not my partner anymore."
Yeah.
And then my partner's partner called me and he said, "I understand you're competing with us." And I said, your partner Hal told me you were closing down that division." He said, "Well, we changed their mind. Do we have to tell you everything?" And he said, "If you continue to compete with us, I'll send over 2 men to break your legs." Nice thing to hear. So
And
I
you
waited.
responded in kind, and obviously you're still here.
Yeah. I waited about an hour and I called him back. I said, "I just reported your threat to the Van Nuys Police Department." And so that they'll know who to look for if anything happens to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that's the way the game played, unfortunately. So I understand you did real well with that.
Well, yeah. And then I'll tell you something. My folks always wanted me to be an attorney. So I went to law school.
Oh, okay.
I got a law degree.
Wow.
Never one day did I ever go into the law school library because I was out selling office supplies on the streets of LA to pay for the tuition.
Right. Right. Got to eat and pay the tuition.
And I sold office supplies like Avery labels,
Uh-huh.
and I never had a business card because the best way for somebody to get rid of you is to say, "Give me your card and I'll call you." And
Right. And
nobody ever, if you
they
haven't made the sale that day, they're not going to call.
never call you. That's absolutely a
Never
fact.
call. So
That's a fact. That's a
I
fact.
said, "I don't have any cards left." And I didn't have it anyway. And that way I could stay in there pitching.
Yep. That's it. Stay under the radar. Good for you. I mean, I do the same thing. I'm in sales during the day, and I go, you won't call me, but give me your number, or I ask for their number, and if they don't call me in 2 weeks, I'll call them. And of course, they
Yeah,
never call. So
they never call.
I put the monkey on their back, and then I take it back and say, well, I'll call them in
Good.
2 weeks.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
So in other words, they have the ability and freedom to call me, but they never do, and so I don't give it to them forever. Like, I'll call you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sure you will.
And then my next move was to get into the wholesale nut business.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay.
I sold pecans to Wally Amos from Famous
Oh,
Amos.
so that's how you met Famous Amos.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And he was at the corner of Sunset and Formosa
Yes, just down the street from
and
Hollywood High School.
in Hollywood. Right.
Yep.
And so I sold him all of his pecans, and uh, I became a huge nut distributor in Southern California with no investment, by the way.
Oh, wow. Good for you.
Didn't put a dime into that.
Good for you. And Famous Amos was huge. I mean, they're still around today.
Yeah, they're owned by the same company that owns Jelly Belly.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Wow. Well, small world.
very small world.
Yeah, small world. And I know there's a thing on YouTube. I think I didn't watch it with you and Famous Amos. So I mean, let's just real fast. I mean, what was your take on Wally Amos?
Very good man. He taught a lot of people. He joined a reading program, and he went out and spent a lot of time with kids teaching them how to read. Literacy program. Good man.
That's wonderful. I know he always had a smile on his face.
Always, always. Great guy. He's not with us anymore. He passed away at the age of about 88.
Okay.
And the sad thing is, I learned that he was living for a while at the YMCA towards the end of his life.
Oh my goodness. Really?
Yeah, sad. Very sad. He couldn't use his name. He tried to use just the fact, Uncle Wally, Uncle this. Nothing with Wally. They sued him.
You know, it's too bad. That's too bad. I mean, it would have been publicity. It would have been, everybody would have won, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, those little tiny Famous Amos cookies are fabulous. They're fun.
Yeah, tremendous. And then he tried to get back into the business. He actually was on an episode of Shark Tank.
Oh, really?
Yeah, towards the end of his life, he had a new cookie from Hawaii, and he was asking for a $50,000 investment.
Well,
and the sharks, he said that's petty cash for all you shark people, but nobody went with him.
Nobody bit. Okay, too bad.
No, too bad.
All the experience and all that stuff, and they couldn't even throw him a bone. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. And then I got an idea for jelly beans.
Now, where did the genesis of that come from?
Actually, I've always loved jelly beans. My first experience with jelly beans, I was walking home from law school, and I went into an Allen Wirtz candy store on 6th Street, and they had a little package of Herman Golett's jelly beans.
Okay.
And I said to myself, I bought it. I started to eat it, and I said, these are good, but I can do better than these. I can make mine better. I can flavor the inside as well as the outside.
Brilliant. And I'm watching the documentary with Wild Al Yankovic. He said something very interesting. He's a vegetarian, and jelly beans have gelatin in them.
Actually, he was incorrect on that.
Well, that's what he said. So, which he wasn't a fan of. So,
yeah.
Well, okay, so he's not an authority.
Okay. He's a good guy, though.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah,
he's a really good guy.
Knows him. They go to the same church in Hollywood. He's a good guy nonetheless.
He's brought a lot of happiness to the world.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has. And he parodied a lot of music, and but most of them, all the biggies let him parody them.
Yeah, I know.
They got royalties either way, so it was a win-win.
Yeah, very true. So I started Jelly Bellies with 8 flavors. I found me a contract manufacturer in Oakland. They were a small little company. They probably had about 10 people working there. And the first question I asked the owner before I had him make the product was, these are going to be really popular. Will you be able to keep up with production? And he said, any orders you throw our way.
Okay,
we'll keep up with them. We were paying him 59 cents a pound in the beginning.
Okay.
When the product took off, I made a call to him, and I said, I need to talk to you. And he said, what do you need to talk about? I said, I want you to raise the price. And he said, I've never been asked in my life to raise the price. What's your gimmick?
Wow.
I said, I want you to charge me 69, 10 cents a pound higher. He said, when do you want to do it? I said, I've got an order coming down tomorrow on Crescent Truck Line. for 40,000 pounds. Do it on that. He said, that's going to cost you another $4,000. I said, yeah, I'm asking you to do it. I want you to be happy.
Good for you. Good for you.
And the first batch that came in, they put them in 30-pound boxes. They didn't line the box with wax paper.
Oh no.
They all stuck together like it was a Union ice cube.
One big ice cube jelly bean.
Well, yeah, 30 pounds. If you tried to separate them, it would leave pot marks on there.
Oh my gosh.
Ask me what I did with those.
I would love to know.
My wife, Rebecca, said, I know what to do with them. She took out her aluminum sheets. She sun-dried them in the backyard. Took out all that extra moisture.
Oh, so let the sun do the work.
Yeah, they were sun-dried beans.
Sounds like
you would have figured that a company that had been in business that long would have known how to make a jelly bean without it sticking together.
Well, no. Well, that's not my kid. That's not my beef. It's why didn't they have the presence of mind just to line the box with plastic, for crying out loud?
For some reason, they did not.
I mean, it's sugar, for goodness sakes. If it gets hot, as I used to say in my daughter's bib, yeah, spit happens.
Yeah, that's true. I had $800 when I started Jelly Bellies.
Right, $800. Wow,
$800, and there were no credit cards back in 1976.
Didn't know that. So, what was your first big break?
I contacted one of my customers, Fossilman's Ice Cream Parlor at 1824 West Main in Alhambra. I sold them their walnuts to make their ice cream. They made ice cream right on the premises there. Their ginger ice cream is the best I've ever tasted.
Yeah, you're an ice cream guy. We're going to get to that.
I love ice cream. And so they had a little corner. As you go into the right, they had a little corner where they were showing their medals that they won. Here's a secret. If you want to get a medal at a state fair, you make your ice cream in a category that you're the only participant in. You put a new ingredient in it. So you get it for that category.
Well, yeah, and that makes you unique.
Yes.
Right. There you go.
I'm not saying that's how they got all their medals, but that's a good way of getting a medal.
Sure. It's good. You have a fighting chance.
Yeah. So I talked to the Fossilman brothers, who had been in business prior to Baskin Robbins, by the way.
But Baskin Robbins ice cream, very popular here in Southern California.
Yeah, prior to them. And I said, I would like that corner where you're showing your medals. Put your medals somewhere else in the ice cream place. I will get a little stand. I will get a non-refrigerated, something that looks like it holds ice cream, but it's not refrigerated, because you can't have jelly beans cold. They don't like the cold.
Oh, interesting. Okay, they don't like too much sun, and they don't like too much cold. Okay.
Exactly. And
they sound temperamental.
They are. And he said, what do you want to do with it? I said, this is going to be my new product. I'm calling them Jelly Bellies. And he tasted them. He said, these are darn good. He said, what are you going to sell them for? And I said, $2 a pound. And out of that $2, you get $1 right off the top.
50%. Wow.
And that will be my rent. Because I said, in all honesty, I don't have any money to pay you for rent. I was totally on the level with them. The first day I was in there, I had a Toledo scale.
Okay.
Right there.
Right.
I'm sure you've seen those.
Yes, I have.
And it was a type of Toledo scale that had a scoop in it. My first customer was my wife's ceramic teacher, who bought 4 pounds of them at $2 a pound, $8 worth. I put them on on the scoop, they all fell on the floor.
Oh, man.
And I'm thinking,
Slippery
this
little
is,
buzzards. These are slippery little buzzards too.
yeah, I'm thinking, this is not a good start.
We're not. Yeah, this is not a good sign, right?
No. And our average day was between $20 and $25 a day in business,
Okay.
which was about 12 pounds.
Right.
And I said to myself, if I don't do something fast, the company's going to give up hope on me and they won't want to supply me. So instead of calling the local Alhambra newspaper, I figured I'd start at the top. Who would you have called in those days, 1976?
Well, in terms of you're talking about publicity. You call
Right.
You call a publisher.
Well, I called Associated Press.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. Well, that's even better. One thing I've noticed when I saw your YouTube thing is I noticed you have absolutely no fear of picking up the phone and calling anybody.
Oh, none whatsoever.
I remember you called one company you were working with at like 6 o'clock at night because you knew the only guy left to answer the phone would be the president.
Yeah, exactly.
Phone and away you.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, when I was in law school, I did something very strange. The cases that they give you, especially the criminal cases, those are real cases. I would call the people associated with those cases.
Wow.
And during class, when the teacher said, our professor would say, anybody want to add anything to this? And I said, yeah, I talked to his mom last night. Just to get more information.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah. If you are doing anything, you need to put in an effort more than anybody. You have to know everything. My son, who was an animator at Disney for the last 34 years, who worked on Zootopia 2.
Okay.
I think he was a supervising animator.
Okay.
Anyway, I told him in the very beginning, you're in the animation field, subscribe to everything that you can learn, everything about animation, so that you know more than anybody. And he listened to me.
Knowledge is power, but the utilization of that knowledge is more powerful.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. So I called Associated Press. I talked to the editor of the business section. I didn't want to be in the society pages. I wanted businessmen to read it, who possibly had stores or knew somebody that had stores or wanted to be distributors. And he said, well, how's it doing? If I would have said I'm doing $22 a day, do you think he would have shown up? No.
No, absolutely.
Call us when you're a real company.
Well, last I checked, it was a real company.
Yeah. I said, we're doing fantastic. And I said, women from Beverly Hills are sending their chauffeurs.
Wow. That's a comment.
Wasn't the truth.
Well, all right. I mean, they're not going to call the chauffeur. There's no way to verify that, right?
So he said, I would love to show up. I said, what time's good? He said, Sunday at 10 o'clock. And when he was there, I had friends lined up around the block, pretending they were customers.
Of course. Perception is reality.
That's it. That is it. And if I hadn't done that, I don't know if I would have been interviewed.
Probably not.
Probably not. Probably not. So it hit the wire. Within a few days, Marshall Fields out of Chicago, a very famous department store.
Huge.
That makes a product called the Frango mince.
Okay.
Which is made in Frederick and Nelson in Seattle on the 13th floor.
13th floor. Okay.
And Marshall Fields' buyer, Phil Goss, was his name. And he said, I want to place an order. I said, great. He said, I'm with Marshall Fields. I said, how much money do you have to spend? He said, $20,000, which was a lot of money back in those days.
Right. That was, sure.
I said, good.
But yeah, it's a big order.
I said, I need you to send me a check because I have a co-packer and I don't have the money to put out for it. He said, well, we're Marshall Fields. We don't send money in advance. He said, I'll tell you what I will do, though. I will tell our accounts payable department the minute the order comes in, a check will be issued to you. So you won't have to wait 90 days like a lot of people do. Yeah, department stores are notorious for slow pay.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
They want to work on your money.
Of course. And what they want, yeah, you do.
So he kept his word. The only problem with the order, he sent a purchase order to my contract manufacturer, Herman Golitz, who waited to the year 2000 to change their name to Jelly Belly, by the way. They weren't sure that it was a hit.
Oh, my Lord. That's way down the road.
Yeah. They bought it in 1980.
Oh, my gosh. That's 20 years.
Yeah, they took 20 years to change the name. So they don't like me saying I'm the founder of the company because I founded a company called Jelly Belly in 1976. And for 4 years, I owned that company. But they don't like me saying I was the founder. I never claimed to be the founder of their company. And right now I owe them $276,000 plus interest.
Yeah, interesting.
$276,000 to pay for their legal fees because I lost the case.
Yeah, and counting.
Yeah. By the way, everything is in this book.
Right, we're going to get to your book. It's time to spill the beans for those that
are listening. It's time to spill the beans. I'm 79 years old right now, so there's no point of having any secrets anymore.
Right, and it's, by the way, folks, it's available on Kindle and Amazon. It's been out for 6 months.
Thank you. It's free on Kindle Unlimited. It'll cost you nothing.
Yes,
and you get it the same day.
Right, you can download it, and then of course, if you want to buy the hard copy, it's on Amazon.
Correct, $14.99.
Yep.
But they'll take about 10 days to send it to you.
Yeah, well, Amazon Prime. I'm a Prime guy, so it's a little faster if you're a Prime person.
Yeah, cool. That's true. How'd you know that?
So they made the check out to the wrong place, but I mean they hadn't changed the name, so could they cash the check?
No. They knew who to make the check out to. But on the purchase order, it told them where to send the check. But on the purchase order, it said that their PO has to be on every case.
Okay.
Herman Golitz didn't bother reading it. And they said, if you don't do that, you'll be fined $1.50 per case.
Oh, my Lord.
So they fined me. And there was nothing I could do because it was right there on the purchase order.
There was a paper trail.
Yep. But you know what? It's once Marshall Fields had it, it was just like what are those things called that go? It was automatic. Dominoes. What are they called? What's those things that one runs into each other? Dominoes. Yeah. Everybody wanted the product. I never had to do any selling. I never had to do any selling from that point on.
Wow, it just took off.
It took off like craziness.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, they're small. As you said, the flavor is inside and out. And you had up to 25 flavors, I think?
When I sold out, we had about 25, 26.
Yeah.
It eventually went up to 40 to 50.
Wow.
And I impressed upon Herman Golitz, you need to keep on coming out with new flavors.
Right. Got to be
like
new and
flavor, limited edition, flavor of the month. Now, they came out on their own with those Birdie Bots flavors or whatever they call them. The vomit and all those things.
I remember the flavor.
Yeah. I'm not
And then
saying that they didn't sell. Yeah. I'm not saying they didn't sell, but they associated the name Jelly Belly with those flavors.
yep. Okay.
I would have come out with those under a whole different line of product. You know, have you ever seen Godiva come out with a line associated with them?
No, they're on their own.
Did you know Godiva at one time was owned by Campbell Soup?
I did not know that.
They didn't want anybody to know that. They also own Pepperidge Farm. They still own Pepperidge Farm, but they sold Godiva to a company from Turkey.
We're not gonna say it's overseas, I thought.
All those years, nobody identified. Like, for example, Clorox owns Hidden Valley Ranch salad dressing.
Okay.
They don't put that anywhere on the bottle. Would you want Clorox to be associated with a salad dressing?
No, and I agree with you. There's a lot of the corporate world in reality is smaller than people think because everybody owns something of this, that, and the other. There you
So
go.
true.
There you go. Yeah.
So true. And then I had the opportunity to be in People magazine. I was in the same issue that O.J. Simpson was on the cover.
Was that one of his good years or bad years?
Oh, he was good O.J. then.
Okay.
And they did a nice two-page article on me.
Wow.
And
Cool.
it had me in a bathtub
Full of jelly beans?
full of jelly beans, correct.
Yeah,
And it was at over 100 degrees, and I was in a truck in a bathtub.
oh my goodness.
Actually, I was in the delivery truck that I delivered famous Amos
I
pecans
saw the
to.
photo, and some people didn't think that was a cool way to promote it.
Well, the owner of the company turned to his sales manager and said, "Dave has blown the golden goose." Nobody wants to associate. My whole top was naked.
Right.
I was
Yeah,
wearing,
you were basically in a bathing suit in a bathtub full of jelly bellies. Right.
which were sticking to my chest, by the way,
Yes, they were everywhere. Right. Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I did not sell those beans afterwards.
I can imagine not.
No, I did not. So he said, "You need to take the mogul. The mogul is what they make jelly beans on the center." And he said, "You need to get contracts on candy corn because that's what they did mainly. They made candy corn at 28 cents a pound,
Wow.
and they sold them to rebaggers. And they made a couple pennies a pound on that. But he said, we need to keep the machines going because it's over with. He's blown the whole deal. And he never told me. I'm meanwhile out there trying to sell the product, and people are calling me, what's going on here? How come we can't get product? And it created competitors because they could get product.
Right. Right.
Created a company called Teeny Beanies. Cute name. And the lady that started Teeny Beanies called me up. She said, I have a $30,000 order. I said, who's it from? She said, it's from the guy that does packaging for Ralph's supermarket.
Right. Big store in Southern California. Chain.
Yeah, exactly.
Huge chain.
Who at one time was bought by Federated Department Store and later purchased by Ron Burkle, who was a personal friend of mine.
Yeah, Ron
who's
Burkle,
a multi-billionaire.
Ron Burkle's a billionaire and he owns a lot of
billionaire.
Yeah.
Billionaire. Ron Burkle originally bought Jurgensen's market, and I said to him, what are you doing with that? He said, they're not going to be around too much longer. They're worth more dead than alive. Their leases in Beverly Hills, we could get 10 times more than what we're on the books for. And after that, he bought Ralph's. He bought it all with Michael Milken's money.
Oh, Michael Milken, the
junk bonds.
Junk bond guy way back. Yes, I'm familiar with it.
Michael Milken went to Birmingham High School in Encino. And then he went to jail also. Brilliant man.
He was very brilliant. He was
brilliant. Brilliant.
At a desk, and he had like 3 assistants. He was just killing it.
Brilliant man. So bring me back to where I was. What was I talking about? So I said, I don't want my product in Ralph's. This is a product for the gourmet people.
Ah,
This is for Robinson's, not Ralph's.
okay. Robinson's is another high class department store in Southern California.
Used to be, not anymore.
Well, yeah, it's gone.
It's gone. So is May Company too.
Yes.
So is
Yes.
Broadway. They're all gone. I don't know if any of them are still around. Oh, yeah, there are a few around.
Yeah, Macy's and Fuse. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, few. Macy's still has a few stores.
Yep.
But so I said, I don't want my product in Ralph's. So she said, well, I'm going to call Herman Golitz. I'll have them make it for me. So she called them, and they said that Dave has the exclusive on it. She said, well, if that's the case, I'm going to make my own. So she called a company by the name of Just Born. Just
Okay.
Born? Just Born. Yeah, I think it was Just Born.
Okay.
They
We'll
make hot tamale. They make hot tamale. Yes, it was Just Born. They make hot tamales in Mike and Ike's.
Yep.
I love. Do you ever have Mike and Ike's?
I don't think so.
You really missed something. They made a root beer that was called Rudy Tooty.
I've heard of that.
Yeah. So she said, well, I'm going to call them. And she called them, and they made a line for her that she called Teeny Beanies. Cute name. And she stayed longer than 4 years. They paid her for many, many years. I think she actually made more money out than I did.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So I understand, for example, Ronald Reagan was a big fan of Jelly Bellies.
He was a fan of jelly beans prior.
Yeah.
He quit the smoking habit.
Yes.
Relative of his said, take up jelly beans. So he was a customer of Herman Golitz prior to Jelly Bellies. They never disclosed that during the negotiations to buy me out. And he became president like a month or two later. They knew at the time that he liked jelly beans. Do you think they had the moral duty to disclose that to me?
Absolutely not.
No, absolutely not. It was kind of inside information, but hey, and they never did. If I had known that, I would have said, you know what? I think he hadn't been elected at that time. He was like 1 month away. And I knew all along he was going to get elected.
Right. I mean, he was governor of California and very
popular.
Yeah,
come on.
And all that. Yep.
So they supplied him when he was governor of California with that same bean that I bought at that Allen Wirtz store on my way home from law school.
And my understanding, at his peak, they were in the White House, they were on Air Force One, they were all over the place, and he was buying like 60 cases a month.
Yeah, everywhere. As a matter of fact, our documentary guy who flew in from New Zealand, Costa Botes, my son and his wife were directors of it, and they took care of arranging everything. It wouldn't have been able to be made without any of them. Costa passed away a couple months ago. And he was actually kicked out. He tried to go into the Jelly Belly factory to interview Herm, but he knew too much about the product. And Herm said, "Who are you?" He said, "I smell a rat."
Wow.
And he said, "Give me your camera," because he was filming him. And I don't think Costa gave him his camera, but he said, "You're not allowed to use anything that you got here."
That's too bad. That's
Yeah,
really
well,
that's too bad.
What do you do?
What do you do? So you say that there's a lot to tell about a man who eats Jelly Bellies.
Correct. That's what President Reagan said.
Oh, okay, okay.
That wasn't my pick. That was the president's quote. And I'm going to tell you something. He liked licorice jelly beans.
Licorice, okay.
And just a little warning here from somebody that knows a little bit more than the average person on jelly beans. Licorice, and you can look this up. I'm not making this up, but I'm not a doctor either. If you eat too much licorice, it possibly could rob your body of potassium. And someday the government is going to require a warning on not on red licorice, because there's no licorice in red licorice.
I was gonna say you're talking about black licorice, obviously.
Just black licorice.
Yeah. Never been a fan.
You could deplete your body of potassium if you eat too much of it at one time.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, very few people know that. So I like to get the word out on that.
Okay, so so you lost Jelly Bellies, of course.
I was forced out of it. I was told. Herm called me on the phone, and he said, "We're coming to town on Friday." And I said to him, "What airport are you flying to? I will pick you up at the airport." Because I had picked him and his son up at the airport, and I had bought scalped tickets to the Rose Bowl a couple years prior to that on Pasadena.
Right, Rose Bowl.
In Pasadena on New Year's Day. He said, "Dave, it's not that kind of a meeting." And I said, "Well, what kind of a meeting is it?" He said, "We're coming to town to buy the trademark, and we're not going to leave until we do."
Yeah, come hell or high water.
We're not going to leave until we do. And I knew that they had a plan B because I heard that from a higher up person in the factory. I said, what's going to happen? Well, we have a plan B. And their plan B, as we were driving to the bank on Valley Boulevard in Rosemead, Herm was sitting in the front seat. We were going to get it notarized, the contract, the force out. And I said, "What if we weren't doing this right now? What would you be doing?" And he turned around. I was in the back seat. I wish I would have had that on film. And he said, "You really want to know?" I said, "Yeah." He showed me a cardboard. And it said, "We would have cut you off on Monday morning. You would have not ever had another pound of jelly beans from us. We know you would have sued us, but by the time it got to court, you would have been broke."
Yeah, game over.
Game was over.
Yeah.
Game was over. And he showed me what the name was, their new name. I mean, they were serious. Someday I need to be hypnotized. I've got a very good memory. I cannot tell you as of this moment. I was so upset by everything going on that I was almost in shock. I could not remember what the name was.
Oh, wow.
And I had a partner. Do you know how my partner came along in the jelly bean business, Jelly Bellies?
Don't remember.
I owned 100% of Jelly Belly in the beginning.
Of course.
And one day I got a call from my mother-in-law. And she said, "David, I need your help." And I said, "Name it." By the way, when somebody asks you for a favor and they say, "What is it?" they're not really your friend. They have to say, "Name it," in my words.
Understood.
Check that out someday. You don't want to treat it conditional.
Yep.
On what it is. I always say, "Name it." She said her husband, my father-in-law, Ben, who was a good man, was arrested.
Oh, right. Yeah, I remember you telling me the story. Yeah.
He was arrested for
loan sharking.
Loan sharking.
Yeah.
And he lost his lease to the landlord after that happened. Got booted out. He was right across the street from the General Hospital, the same one that they showed on Ben Casey on the outside.
Okay.
And she said that her son was in medical school at Stanford.
Okay.
And would quit school because the dad couldn't find a job.
Yeah, I couldn't pay for it anymore.
And it was up to me immediately.
Yeah, tag you're it.
It was immediately. So I called up my nut partner And I said, I want to buy your San Marino store from you. And I offered to buy it. And he said, I'll have to ask the wife. And she said no, she turned it down. They wanted to save it for the family. And I said, well, how about if I trade you for half a Jelly Belly? And that's how they owned half of it.
Wow. She gave it away, basically.
The store, yeah, it was like Jack and the Beanstalk and the Beanstalks. Beanstalk. In the store, with the money from the cash register the day before, and inventory, maybe $15,000, maybe.
Okay, plus or minus.
And he was hated in the community because the lady before him was so nice. So the minute he went in there, they didn't understand what he was doing there.
Wow.
And to his dying day, he never knew what the business cost me.
You paid a high price.
Yeah. Very high price. Yeah. I was once going to be on the Dinah Shore show. Do you remember Dinah Shore?
Of course, I do.
See the world in the Chevrolet was her.
Fortunately, I'm old enough.
See the world today in a Chevrolet. That was their advertisement. Yeah. I had a company by the name of Sconza, very good candy company, make for me the world's largest jawbreaker.
That's a big job.
Yeah, exactly. This thing was humongous. Took them months. Months to dry it and have layer upon layer. So when he took over the store, I went in there with it because he had a nice window where people walked by.
Sure.
And he said, "What's that?" I said, "That's something that you can't sell. I want people to see it as they walk by. It's a curiosity piece."
Sure.
And it's going to be on the Dinah Shore show. That's getting me on there. So about a month later, I waltz in there, and the big giant jawbreaker is missing. So I said to my father-in-law, "Where's the jawbreaker?" And he said, "I sold it." I said, "What do you mean you sold it? That was going to be my ticket to get on the Dinah Shore show." He said, "Yeah, I was offered $10. I did pretty good, didn't I?"
$10? You didn't tell me you wanted it for 20?
$10.
Oh
10,
my God.
10,
oh,
10, 10 bucks. $10. And then about 2 months later, he called me in and he said, I don't know what you paid for this store, but I know it wasn't cheap. And I never told him the total. He said, "But you didn't really have to do that. All you had to do was get me a popcorn machine."
Right.
And I could have made a living selling popcorn on the road.
Sure.
Yeah, well, why didn't you suggest that back then?
Didn't come up in cocktail. It didn't come up in the conversation.
No.
So
never.
After Jelly Belly, you've come up with some, and I've got some great a litany here from your documentary of the different ideas you came, because you're a candy man, right?
I am a candy man. By the way, I'm a candy man that does not know how to make candy.
Oh, really?
Don't know how to make it. I'm a marketer. I come up with the ideas.
Well, yeah, you're an exciting and amazing marketer, but so how did you come up with a concoction for the Jelly Bellies in the first place?
They did all the work on it, on the recipe.
You come up with the concept, and they did their thing.
I told them exactly. Here's what I told them. I want it to be 400 to the pound, so I want them to be mini.
Oh,
I don't want them.
The number of Jelly Bellies per pound. Okay, about 4. Okay,
right.
Small. Yep.
I told them that. I told them that I didn't want them to be made out of pectin, because pectin doesn't go good with certain flavors like chocolate. And I wanted a chocolate pudding, and I did not name it chocolate. I named it chocolate pudding.
Okay, yeah, because that makes sense, because pectin's that makes.
It was made with corn syrup instead of pectin.
Okay.
I said I want them to be flavored on the outside as well as the inside.
There you go.
I want the first flavor I want to do is a watermelon, so it's green on the outside and pink on the inside.
Oh, there you go.
So I need flavors that have never been made before. I said they're going to be called Jelly Belly. I want an exclusive on them, and it will be huge. And it was. It took off to the point stores that were carrying it, they were going around from distributor to distributor every single day just so their store could have enough Jelly Bellies. By the way, there's a great documentary, the one that I was telling you about, the Costa and my son and his wife.
Yep.
Called Candyman, the David Kline story. It's free on YouTube.
YouTube, okay.
Candyman, the David Kline story.
Okay.
And the original distributor for that didn't do right by us.
Not surprising.
Did not do right by us. I don't want to get into it, but just take my word, did not do right by us.
No worries. So after Jelly Belly, you lost Jelly Belly, was sold, you had other ideas, and your first one, I understand, was gourmet gumdrops.
We did a gumdrop that was called the Gumdrop Kid. If you ever see a movie with Bob Hope, he was a lemon drop kid.
Okay.
By the way, do you know what inspired my name, Jelly Belly?
No.
I was watching Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son.
The son just died recently. Red Fox passed away many years ago.
He was great.
Great comedian.
Yeah, he was.
Great comedian. He was talking about a musician by the name of Lead Belly. Lead Belly. Lead Belly.
Okay, Lead Belly.
And that name stuck in my brain.
Yep.
And when I was trying to come up with a name for Jelly Belly, I was thinking Lead Belly, Jelly Belly. I did not know it at the time that he had been in prison on attempted murder. Lead Belly.
Okay.
If I had known that at the time, I'm not that sure I would have picked the name.
Well, it's far enough away from Lead Belly. It's Jelly Belly.
Yeah, I suppose.
Medical is before, so you're good.
I had a young lady. I couldn't afford to do a logo, so I had a young lady who was. Wait, did I tell you about the blackmail part? How they blackmailed me?
No, we were we go for it.
Okay, let me start with the blackmail. The man who was co-owner of the ice cream parlor called me one day, and he said, "Dave, this is Bob." I said, "Bob, I've talked to you every day since I've been open there. I recognize your voice." And he said, "Now you listen to me." The week before, I had flown him on my dollar to the factory, which was in Oakland at the time, not Fairfield. By the way, in Fairfield, they just announced a layoff of 19 people, effective immediately, yeah, which will bring they once had 800 people working there.
Wow.
According to Wikipedia. You can change things on Wikipedia yourself. Have you ever tried?
Anybody can. No,
yeah.
I don't know.
They can. Yeah. I've been banned for changing things on Wikipedia for a year. Jelly Belly didn't like me commenting on there. So
get spanked.
He called me up and he said, I said, "Yeah, Bob, what can I do for you?" He said, "How many partners do you have?" I said, "Well, Cal is my partner." He said, "No, that's the wrong answer. I'm your third partner." And I said, "Okay, how do you figure that?" I'm sure you've talked to people over the years in business. Have you ever had anybody that had these unusual problems?
Unusual problems.
Have you? I mean, like blackmail, your life threatened, things like that?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, good. So I said, "How do you figure that?" He said, "I filed for the California trademark of Jelly Belly."
All right. We're talking about federal. We're talking about federal versus state.
Right. we had filed for the federal trademark, and I asked our attorney, should we file for the California one through March Fong Yu? It's $10 or $20 or whatever. It was cheap.
My Lord.
And you get it back immediately. You don't have to wait a year for the federal. And he said, don't waste your time. He said, you can wipe your butt with it as long as you have the federal.
Yeah, I got. Well, in hindsight, you got some lousy advice.
Yeah. I had called him after we made the documentary. I found him and I said, by the way, this is what happened. He said, I hope you didn't mention my name in the documentary. I said, no, we didn't mention your name. So I said, Bob, what do you want? He said, I want to be guaranteed $64,000 a year.
64 a year. Yep.
For the rest of my life. And when we wrote up the contract, we put so much verbiage in there. This is between Garvey Nut at 9533 East Garvey and Fossilman's at 1824 West Main in Alhambra. And will be good until the sum of 64,000 is reached.
There's the caveat.
We didn't put in per year.
Right, 64,000. You're done.
And so we made payments to him every quarter.
Right.
Correct. Done. And on the back, we put your signature will constitute payment in full.
Yep.
And Cal was the one, my partner, that brought it to him because I hadn't talked to him during that whole period. I didn't know how he could have done that to us. And so he said, you guys are trying to screw me. I think I'm going to go see an attorney. If I had been there, I would have said you should have seen one before you signed it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And about 5 years later, after I stopped talking to him, I called him on the phone. I said, Bob, I'm in the area. Can I drop in? He said, I didn't think you'd ever want to talk to me after what I did. He said, I did it to protect my family. Protect your family. He shook my hand. He apologized right on the spot. He said, I am so sorry. I've never done anything like that to anybody else. And I said, you know, Bob, while I'm here, let me show you a few of our new products. Are you interested? He said, bring them in. And I appointed him as a distributor of some of our new items.
Good for you.
It's terrible to hold things in for years.
It's so true. And it doesn't do anybody any good. It's so true. Yeah, it's so true. We made a sour licorice. We were at the forefront of people with sour licorice. We took a already existing licorice and we coated it with malic acid and whatever it took. Well, yeah, it's called Can't Believe It's So Sour.
Correct. You know more about me than I do.
Yeah, and the documentary said there were too many. It was too popular. Too many copycats.
Yeah, we got it into the original Price Club, which was owned by Sal Price.
Yes, Price Club before
which
it became
later merged with Costco.
Yeah, Costco.
And they were selling the heck out of it.
I'm sure they were.
And they went to one of our suppliers of the licorice, a company out of San Diego, Simon Home Foods, offered them the product to Price Club at about half the price of what we were selling it at. And our manufacturer made it for them and cut us out of our best customer.
Well, there you go again. So wow, yeah, too many copycats. Well, that's why. So the gourmet gumdrops, you said the pen was too much, and you had to
gourmet gumdrops. It was at the point where Jelly Belly didn't have the production time.
Okay.
Because they couldn't even keep up with the jelly beans. They were the ones that were making it for me.
I'm sure they could. Yeah, I'm sure that's true.
That's the one that I was on the second Mike Douglas appearance.
Oh, right. That was funny. You wore. I loved your hat. That was the hat you wore. Yeah.
Yeah. That's right here.
Yeah, put it on. Come on. There it
It weighs
is.
it weighs almost 9 pounds,
Well, put it on. There you go.
and
9 pounds.
it can give
There
you
you
a brain tumor.
go.
When I bought this hat from Nudie, who made all of the costumes for Elvis, he did all rhinestone costumes.
Oh,
I walked
wow.
into his place on Lankershim Boulevard in North Hollywood, and he said, "How can I help you?" I said, "I'm here to buy some clothes." And he said, "Son, I'm I sell clothing to the elite in Hollywood,
Yeah, yeah,
Elvis Presley."
yeah.
And he said, "Son, Sears is a mile and a half down the street. I suggest you go there." And I said, "No, actually, I'm going to be on the Mike Douglas show. I need an outfit." He said, "Come on in."
There you go.
$4,300 in those days for
Now
the
you're
outfit.
spending.
And the original Gumdrop Kid hat that he made for me, I loaned it to the man who owned Jolly Rancher,
Yep.
who never returned it to me.
Yes, you probably never got it back. Oh man.
Never got it back.
Oh man.
Never got it back. Never.
That's not kosher.
Never got it back.
That's not kosher. Wow.
And I tell it, everybody wants to know. My son has part of the equipment. Part of the equipment, I tell everybody I lost in a poker game. I think my son has the mask for the Gumdrop Kid.
Okay.
The outfit was $4,300, I believe $20.
Wow.
And he had a cash register that you ring up all at one time. He didn't have to ring up 99, 99, 99, 99. His cash register was in thousands.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah. Nudie, great man. He actually put me in his book. He did a tabletop book, and my picture is in his book.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. His granddaughters came out with a book.
Cool.
Yeah. Good people. Good family.
So after gourmet drum drops, you had on the rocks, which I think is really cool, cocktail flavored candy, but the wrapper stuck to the candy. So again,
Yeah.
you had issues in that
Yeah,
one.
exactly. It was it was not no alcohol in there. By the way, I think because I worked in a liquor store and I was around people from the age of 6 to 13 who actually had the shakes in the morning waiting for us to open.
Oh man.
I have never had a drink in my life. I'm not saying there's anything against drinking, but I personally chose never to drink.
Right.
On the Rocks would have been a huge success. The man that made it for me, his name was Ernie Simon. Him and his son Bob. They were in the Midwest, good people, but the wrapper stuck with the humidity. Nobody could unwrap it.
Oh man, oh man, oh man. Well, there you go. And then you had Triple Dipple Candy Gold.
Triple Dipple Candy Company, which was 3 flavors,
Right on
like
one,
we had in one. We had like a Neapolitan, vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry in one. We had a pina colada. We had a strawberry colada.
Sounds cool, but it's seasonal and didn't take off.
Seasonal, and my business partner, I took off for the business Garvey Nut one day, took my family to Knott's Berry Farm, and the way the pallet of Triple Dipple was positioned, it made it look like people were taking cases out of it. It was kind of like lopsided. And I said, "Please don't touch this while I'm gone." He straightened the whole case out.
And it spilled?
People like to buy things that they think other people want.
Right. Yeah, scarcity.
Scarcity, exactly. They want what they can't buy.
Right.
By the way, that's one reason why I charged $2 a pound on Jelly Bellies. I could have charged $1.50.
Sure.
I wanted people to think that they were better than other people.
Right.
And they were. The product was a good product. I'm not saying it wasn't. But if it had been me, they did 2 major mistakes. One, they came out with a line under their name of vomit, throw up, all that kind of stuff. come if you want to do that, come out with it under a different name. Don't
Right.
don't ruin the name Jelly Belly.
That doesn't jive with the rest of the flavors.
Yeah, no, of course it doesn't. And they also took their seconds and sold them as imperfect ones at all the bloopers or bloopers, bloops, something like oops or something. I don't know what they call it.
Yeah.
And so people could buy Jelly Belly's imperfect ones at all the 99-cent stores.
Then once you pop them in your mouth, what difference does it make?
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't have done that.
No.
I would not have done that.
Well,
you know what? Find
at expensive profit center.
Yeah, exactly. Don't promote them as a Jelly Belly.
Yeah,
sell them to outlets. Sell them out of the country.
Right.
Don't ruin your market.
Yeah, under a different name. Right.
Yeah. And I firmly to this day believe that contributed. And then they started selling everybody that I didn't want to sell to. Grocery stores, discounts everywhere.
They cheapened the product.
I think it did. And obviously I didn't have a voice back then. But in a matter of fact, I had a clause in there. There was a very interesting clause. If we didn't get any payment, they paid us every month for 20 years. First of all, that 20-year contract never would have been validated by any court. It's too long to keep somebody from competing with you.
True.
So I signed for 20 years that I couldn't compete with jelly beans.
Okay.
Any form of jelly beans.
Right.
When I finally came up with my own brand 20 years later, which was called David's Gourmet Jelly Beans.
Okay.
I found somebody to put the money up for it.
Okay.
They contacted Garvey Nut, which was the company that I had started, who we had appointed as exclusive distributor for David's Gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
And they found him right before Garvey was going to put the product out on the shelf. And there was a trade show in San Francisco, and they approached two of the buyers for Garvey, and they said, "We understand you're going to be the exclusive distributor for David's Gourmet. We're just telling you right now, we're giving you advance notice. You put that on the shelf, you will no longer be able to carry Jelly Bellies."
Wow.
Flat out. We reported that to the Justice Department Antitrust Division, who sat on the case for a couple of years.
Sure they did.
And we finally got a report that was, what's it called, redacted?
Yeah,
where everything was blacked out.
Yep.
You couldn't read any of it.
Right.
I had that report.
Yeah.
I had that report.
Yeah.
And so they never put it on the shelf.
Yeah.
It finally ended up in a closeout guy, Ken Young. I walked into Ken Young's place one day, and I see pallet after pallet of those jelly beans that they had gotten from Garvey. And by that time, they were a couple years old.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
A jelly bean does not improve with age.
No, I would imagine it'd be a little stale, maybe.
No, and you know something? So that's what happened on one of my comebacks.
Interesting. And you had a sugar-free saltwater taffy, a Captain Lightweight.
It was sugar-free, and it was made with hydrogenated starch hydrosylate.
Right, and I understand people had negative reactions, gave them the runs.
You needed to be near the restroom. You needed a restroom within the same building.
Yeah.
After you had about 4 of them, they were absolutely delicious. In fact, I went up to Herm's place, showed him the product. He said, "These are fantastic. Can I be a distributor?" So I gave him some samples, and he called the next day. He said, "What's in these things?"
Next day. Oh, man.
You know what? If we had had any brains back then, they could have been a substitute for X-Lax.
Well, sure, weight loss, right?
Yeah, exactly. We could have marketed him as a laxative.
Sure, why not?
I was Captain Lightweight for that product. Captain Lightweight was my character for that.
Yeah. Well, now you know. And then you came up with, which I think is really well, a couple Sandy Candy.
Sandy Candy was our daughter's idea, Roxanne.
Yeah, I mean it's sand and it tastes like candy, and you had 104 flavors.
Yeah, at the maximum, we had 104 flavors,
Oh
and it
man,
was sand art that you can eat. It's still
right?
available 30 years later.
Wow,
Go to sandycandy.com.
right. Sandy right.
Sandycandy.com,
Yep.
where, by the way, you can buy a copy of our documentary. It's on there. And we will pay shipping to your door if you
Oh wow.
buy it on the website. And I will autograph each copy.
Oh wow. Personal autograph. Awesome. And then
Personal
lastly,
autograph.
and then last.
Sandycandy.com.
Okay, so that's a fun product. You can layer it and put it in
Oh,
containers.
you can layer it and
Oh,
make it like
yeah,
sand art. And she
sand
came
art.
up with that idea. And we had a very nice lady who saw the product at a candy store attached to Caesar's Palace. She was on vacation there
In Las Vegas.
in Las Vegas, and she called me. And one of her she was in Michigan. Her name was Carrie, very lovely lady. One of her teachers was the brother of my business partner in the Sandy Candy business, and she wanted to be a distributor. And I said, sure. She got on the cover of Woman's World magazine with
Wow,
the print.
wow,
She got on the cover, and that product took off. Schools used it for fundraising,
sure, that'd be fun.
and because it's a great fundraising product, the kids make it themselves, so you don't need any labor except the person behind the booth
Oh,
taking the money in.
oh, wow,
Great product. We've been doing it for 30 years.
wow,
We sell it to ladies that do cheerleading events all around the country.
wow. Okay.
We
Oh,
also sell it to a nice man in Michigan, Pat, who does 30 some odd shows with it a year.
and then the last one was Spanx, sort of a new kind of jelly bean.
Spanx was one of the finest products ever created, ever. That's the one that Weird Al had in the documentary.
It was Weird Al Yankovic was on it. Yeah,
Yankovic, correct. He ate that in the documentary, and we were just getting started with it, and something really bad happened to it that really hurts me to even talk about it. So we'll save that for another time.
okay. We'll table that one. So if someone was starting out and wanted to have maybe outside the candy business or whatever, what advice would you give them to just as a new entrepreneur?
Don't quit your day job.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
not joking about that.
No, that's true. We gotta make sure it
Don't,
works before you jump in. That's it.
no,
Yep.
don't quit your day job. And also, if you can, you don't need new equipment when you start. Buy your equipment used
Right.
from somebody that is going out of business.
Right.
If you are in the candy business, don't sign a lease for a candy store. Do the market, where you can make it without a health permit. You can do it out of your house. Home food.
In California, they're a little more lenient now than they used to be.
Yes, yes. What's the name of it I'm thinking of?
I don't remember, but yeah, they
It's called the chicken, not chicken. Home. I don't know.
right. It used to be had to make it an A-rated kitchen, and they've kind of
Yes, and now you can have animals in your house, which sounds crazy.
Oh
But
wow. Okay.
yeah, you don't need a health permit. Now, every state can regulate it how they want.
Right.
And some states have a higher limit than others. In Florida, you can do 250,000 in Florida. California, it's a different amount, I'm sure. I would start the business in my house if at all possible. My guess is over half of the states allow it.
Sure.
Start it out at street fairs, and you're allowed to sell it at street fairs and places like that. Try your product out first.
In state
Don't
fairs and stuff. Yeah.
state
Yeah.
fairs. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to sell it, I believe, direct to the public or whatever the rules are. Just follow the rules. I think that's the best advice if you're going into the food business. There's certain items that you can't make. You can't make anything with dairy, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Or a few other items. Probably, I'm not sure. Every state is different.
Right.
But
Yeah.
that's what I would do. Get in. I started Jelly Bellies with $800. You can find a way. You can find a way. Don't be borrowing money from people you can't pay back,
Right.
especially family.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I also said that you think novelty items really, in reality, probably have like a shelf life and come and go like every 6 months.
One day, as I said I said that in my documentary. One day you will wake up and everybody will say, I don't want to buy that anymore. Now, there are a few exceptions.
Of course.
By the way, we make you know how Nerds advertised on the Super Bowl? Do you watch the Super Bowl?
I did, but I missed the commercials. I didn't watch that many commercials, unfortunately.
That's the best part. That's the best part of it.
YouTube.
Nerds, which was at back to back, they make a product. We reverse engineered them, found out how to actually make them better than Nerds.
Oh wow! Okay.
But we don't have $6 million a year to spend on advertising. Our product is softer.
Yeah.
Our product is softer than Nerds, but Nerds has made a tremendous comeback. Once it was part of Willy Wonka.
Yes.
And Nerds is now owned by the same company that bought Jelly Bellies, along with Famous Amos cookies.
Small world again.
Small world.
Small world again. Are you open? I mean, I know you're on the other end of the spectrum, but are you open at all to do any collaborations with other talents in the candy world?
You know what? I don't know what the word no is. I'll always listen.
Fair enough.
Because I love the candy business. I just love being in it. And I was predestined to be in the candy business. I used to tell my schoolmates in junior high, when the teacher left the room, the teacher said, David, take over. And we would talk about candy until she came back from the bathroom.
Oh, wow.
They named a candy bar and I told them who made it. So I did a lifetime study on candy.
Back in the days of the liquor store, sure.
And as I said to my son, if you're in a business, as a matter of fact, I called up the editor of Candy Magazine.
Okay, good.
And I called him up right before we were going to be in the film festival in Utah.
Right.
And I said to him, we're going to be in the film festival in Utah. Any chance of writing us up? And I said, it's been like 30 years. You've never written up the man who invented Jelly Bellies. Any reason? He said, well, we are now.
Wow.
And he said, send me a copy of the book of the film and call me in a month. Any idea what happened after that?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I called him in a month and he said, I'm not going to interview you. And I had bought him a copy that I got from a bookseller in Canada. I think their name is Abel. About the history of his company and the company that had taken it over that he didn't even know existed. And I sent him that copy at no charge.
Of course.
And I said, what's happening? He said, Herm, the owner of Jelly Bellies, told me not to.
Oh my word, this guy is not your friend.
No. And
oh, man,
I said, what do you mean not to? He said, that's it. No interview. He told me not to. And I said, I never sent Herm a copy of it. He said, I did. He sent him a copy.
Man.
And I said to him,
oh man,
that is the worst case of journalism I've ever heard that's unethical.
pretty much. I mean, that's really too
And
bad. That's sad.
I said to him, my bird just died. And so I'm no longer going to use your magazine to line my bird cage.
That's a sad analogy. Oh wow! So, what's your favorite flavor?
Can you imagine that? Herm told him not to.
Well, that's crazy. That's wild. Bad boy. He must not. Wow, it's bad blood there.
Yeah. You know what? And the saddest thing is, because I am the way I am, I don't wish them ill.
No, you don't, David. I mean,
I don't wish them. I was saddened all day yesterday when I learned that 19 people have lost their job there, are going to lose their job. And many have lost their job in the past. I would have run the place totally different. I would be doing $1 billion out of that factory right now.
I have no doubt. You're an amazing promoter.
No, I wouldn't say I'm amazing. I work 8 days a week, and my brain doesn't give up.
No, you don't stop.
You
don't stop.
I don't, and I'm willing to try new things.
Sure, one of them's going to pop. I mean, through a litany of different candies. What is your favorite flavor of Deli Bellies?
I'd rather not discuss that.
What's your favorite flavor of Sandy Candy? All 125.
You know something? I'm going to tell you something about Sandy Candy. The birthday cake is fantastic.
Okay.
We make a flavor called birthday cake, and we did birthday cake before birthday cake even became a flavor.
Birthday cake was a birthday cake. Okay.
Yes, only a birthday cake.
Okay.
But Sandy Candy is good for any event. As a matter of fact, we lived back in Glendora, every Halloween, we put out a table for trick or treat, and we gave the kids free Sandy Candy. And every year, they made us our first stop.
Well, yeah, I'm sure there was a line out there.
There was one year it rained, and people were having their dad drive them there. all over Glendora and Azusa right next.
Well, yeah, and the Claremont's on the other side.
Exactly. Exactly. And I gave the kids one Sandy Candy, and they knew that if they brought candy with them to trade me with, they would get another one. So I usually ask them for, look in your bag for Junior Mints. By the way, Junior Mints is owned by the Tootsie Roll Company.
Oh, okay.
And they acquired it from the Welch Candy Company, whose founder was the brother of the guy that started the John Birch Society.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Do you remember John Birch Society?
They're a little conservative. Yes, I do.
Yeah, a little conservative, correct. And Tootsie Roll is a very interesting company. I'm not an investment advisor, and I would not buy it at the current price of, I think, around 41, but I was recommending it to everybody when it was 28 to 30.
There you go.
And it's now 41. The majority owner, her family, Ellen Gordon, who's a remarkable lady. At the age of 93, she's still working. When she retires, I don't know what's going to happen to the company. I'm not sure anybody in the family wants to take it over. But I've always had a feeling that it would either be acquired by Hershey.
Yeah, I was going to say it's publicly held, so someone's going to acquire it.
Somebody's going to take it over because they do a lot of business, and their market capitalization was just a little over $2.5 billion a while back. The stock is very closely held, and any attempt on buying it right now would raise the price. I would not be a buyer at current levels, but I'd be a buyer again at 30.
Sure. So, in all of your endeavors with Jelly Belly and what you've done, subsequent and such, what do you think is your biggest personal achievement?
My kids,
Okay, great answer. I can say the same. I have two daughters.
yeah, my kids.
Yeah, there you go.
Daughter Roxanne, who created
Sandy
Sandy Candy, is now in real estate in the Inland Empire,
Okay,
specializing in commercial real estate.
Southern California. Yep,
Yeah, tops in her field.
cool.
Follow her if you would on LinkedIn.
And
And
her and your LinkedIn.
every other week, she's signing a deal somewhere.
Good for her. Now her name again on LinkedIn?
Roxanne Klein.
Rasha Klein. Okay. All right. Yeah.
And my son Bert Klein and his wife did a project called Pups of Liberty, along with working at Disney for 34 years.
He's an animator.
And two great grandkids. As a matter of fact, they came with their parents out here about 10 days ago.
Cool.
We had a great afternoon with them. Genius of a grandson. And Roxanne, granddaughter, most brilliant artist you've ever want to see in your life.
I'm sure they take after Grandpa.
Oh, no, they take after. I have no artistic ability whatsoever. I can't even draw a stick figure.
Makes two of us.
Yeah, I'm not into that, and I don't think you can learn that either.
Yeah, either you have it or you don't.
Yeah,
It's an inability. Yeah.
but so they're my two great achievements.
Well, I can say my eldest daughter makes cards and is a phenomenal artist, and
Oh wow,
unbelievable. And her husband's a performer. Seth Ward is her. He's been on America's Got Talent more than anybody, and he's been thrown off America's Got Talent more than anybody. And that's that was fact. Even my America's Got Talent, they're good friends with Howie and even Simon. So
yeah. Howie Mandel.
Yes,
I like him. I enjoy his humor. I've always liked him. And as a matter of fact, his son was in a similar business to what I was in at one time. Did you know he had a son?
I did. Don't know anything about him, but I did know he had a son. I knew he was married and he had a son. Yeah.
Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy. He doesn't like germs at all, does he?
No, he's a germaphobe. I mean, he was a big guy that promoted the fist pump.
Yeah. Really good guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy. Yeah.
So is there anything else you want to add, subtract, multiply, divide before we close out?
Well, we discussed the book. It's time to spill the beans.
Time to spill the beans.
First of all, before buying it, please consider going to Kindle Unlimited where you can watch it for free.
Okay, but you make more money. You make money at the book spot, right?
Yeah, but I want everybody to read this book.
Get the word out. Okay.
That's more important to me than anything.
Yes, sir. I follow you. I really do.
And it's more exactly. It's more. I love to help people start in the food business. That's my specialty. I've never once charged money for consulting.
I imagine that you're a wealth of obviously information. If somebody wanted to get a hold of you, what's the best way to do that?
909-964-5353. That's my cell phone.
So you're telling me you answer your phone?
Most of the time.
Okay. And they can call, and of course text. And all right, directly. That's phenomenal. So David, you've been listening to and had an amazing conversation with David Kline, who is the, depending upon you ask, the founder or inventor of Jelly Bellies
let's stick with inventor.
Inventor of Jelly Bellies. And he's given your telephone number. And you have been watching On Air with Walt, and you can find us on YouTube and mostly. And this will be out in a flash. And it's on onairwithwalt.com as well. And you can reach me at walt and onair.com if you want to be a guest. And this show is again sponsored by Retirement Fortress. If you're worried about what's going to go in the stock market, we've talked a little bit about it right now. You can reach retirementfortress.net, or you can call them again directly, 888-999-9258. And if you could, please like, share, and totally subscribe. It helps all the algorithms of the show on YouTube. And David, it's been fabulous. Thanks for your time and wit and wisdom, and we'll catch you around.
It's been my pleasure. Believe me.
No, thank you. And God bless, my friend.
You too. Goodbye.